Make It Up is the title of the album, and it's also the title of the first track on the album.
The song, Make It Up, I wrote about that fairly universal sensation of having no idea what you're doing, sort of figuring things out as you go, hoping it all holds together, while at the same time putting on a smile and trying to convince everyone else that you know exactly what you're doing.
Make It Up was a track that Sam came to me with a stripped down demo of the song already. And I loved the track the first time I heard it, and I wanted it to sound really fun, really upbeat, and have a lot of energy to it, and just make people want to smile when they heard it.
I played that first verse chorus for Kurt, and he really liked it, and I was like, okay, maybe this actually should be on the album. And finished the song, produced a much better version with Kurt, and started to really fall in love with it as sort of this anthem.
So I mean, there's a lot of fun elements to the track. There's a little catchy electric guitar riff. There's quirky synthesizer sounds. There's really upbeat percussion pattern, claps, little filters in the percussion here and there, and just a lot of fun production things. Which, if you do too much of them, they can be distracting to a track. But in the right amount, it gives it that nice level of interest and fun that. I think we achieved.
Music video to Make It Up. I'm having stressful flashbacks as we speak. No, it was honestly one of the most fun videos I've ever been a part of and ever done. But it also was very stressful because there was just so much that had to go into it.
Basically, the idea was we do it all in one shot because I was really into one-shot videos, and I think they're a ton of fun to do. And basically, the premise was Sam would just save the day. He'd be singing to the camera directly to it, and he'd go along and he'd stop a burglar and who was stealing a purse from someone, toss back the purse. Walk an old lady across the street. Just do all these things to kind of like save the day as he's walking through the world.
I think from the beginning we knew that we wanted the video to incorporate a lot of sort of just fun, goofy, random elements because the song is about sort of making it up and being creative and finding creative solutions. We wanted there to be an element of randomness, honestly, to the video, which is why in the final product there's a mariachi band and a ballerina and a wedding and chess player.
The idea evolved a little bit. It's still Sam walking through the world and interacting with all these different people, but we kind of threw on the premise that the video starts with Sam getting a text from me saying, "Where are you? You need to go on stage in a few minutes and perform."
Oh, I'm so late.
And Sam running, and the whole video is him trying to get to his show, but he keeps on getting caught up.
A lot of prep went into that video, not only on the day itself, but even before the day began. Kurt and I had gone to the space several times to walk out the exact path and decide where certain things were going to happen. We're at the YouTube Space LA to sort of walk through. Hello, Kurt.
What up?
To walk through the music video for Make It Up, which is going to be a super fun, one-take, crazy, complicated thing. So we're just going to walk through it today and make sure that we can, in fact, do all of the crazy stuff that we want to do.
We're going to be taking over their lobby, so hopefully they're cool with all the shenanigans we have planned.
Exactly. That's what we're going to find out today. So, YouTube Space LA, complete with helicopter.
Where we end up in the end of the video, the spot which is a stage where Sam is performing, that's the lobby of the YouTube Space. And they let us put 100 people in there and basically take it all over. So we're really appreciative of them.
Yeah, I've been trying to keep it high.
A one take is shot a little different from most other music videos because just the way the day is structured, there's a lot more sort of upfront rehearsal and blocking and sort of timing everything out. And the actual amount of time that you're shooting is not that much.
I'm singing to the camera, taking this off, you take that, I spin. All
we only filmed 5 takes of the video at the end of the day, and the entire rest of the day was us just setting up and rehearsing and practicing with not only Sam and the camera operator, but also all the extras, because everything needs to be timed out with the song. People need to do what they needed to do and be where they had to be at exactly the right moment. Otherwise, it would mess up the whole shot. You can't cut in a 1 take, so everything's got to be good. Can I have you be more here? Just because that way I feel like you can be more grab the mic, and now I'm on my way. Cool.
A video like Make It Up just has so many little moving parts, and that was really the hardest part during the day, was just making sure that each of those little cogs in the machine was set to run perfectly every time we needed to do the take. So even something as simple as there's a little moment where a woman gets her purse stolen by a robber, and then I grab the purse from the robber, give it back to the woman, hand the robber over to a cop, and then salute him and go on my way. Something as brief as that in the video really took a lot of work to make it work exactly right. Not only did the timing have to work with the music, but you know, we also had to make sure that it looked good for the camera.
So the issue is that we lose you guys in the frame. So if you can stick close to Sam.
So basically, when I take the purse right here, like that, just literally like right here, and don't pull them away.
Okay.
Don't, just
yeah,
like,
just
in
like
fact,
keep holding them there. It's always really stressful directing any video, but especially a video where you're fighting against sunlight. You have to get the shot before the sun goes down. Otherwise, you did not get what you need for the video. So there's always a huge stress when there's that imposed timeline.
The video definitely was an exercise in focus for me, especially every time that take started rolling, just because in a normal music video you could maybe focus on one task at a time, but in this one everything just came one thing after another. I had to do the jump rope, and then I had to do the dance, and then I had to remember to hail the truck at the right time, and all these little things that I didn't really have a chance to think about them. I just sort of had to trust that I had a muscle memory to remember exactly what I was doing and just execute it. So I definitely had to go into my own little headspace before every take and make sure that I was completely focused, because if I messed something up 2 minutes into the song, then the take wasn't usable, and we either couldn't use the take or had to even just stop right there and start the whole thing over.
I kind of like 1 take videos simply because you're always 1 take away from being done. Which is the terrible thing, but also the great thing about them.
Cool, let's reset to 1, and let's try it again.
Another really important part of that video was the dance that comes in every time the chorus hits. I knew from the beginning that whatever the form of the video, I definitely wanted there to be this sort of fun, you know, silly little dance in every chorus. So we were lucky enough to get to work again with NSU Modern, the same group I danced with in our Summer Pop Medley 2012, which was actually when we first even announced that we were doing the album, so it kind of came full circle in that way. But yeah, we were fortunate enough to get to work with them again, and that was another thing that had to be prepped, obviously, before the day of. So I went over, met with them a couple times, learned the dance, rehearsed, and then on the day of, they all showed up and got their little parts, and we spaced it out. I didn't really realize until the shoot was over, and especially the next day when I woke up in the morning, just how athletic the shoot was. In addition to being complicated and stressful and fun, it was also just a very athletic experience for me, a very physical one, because every time we rehearsed it, every time we did a take, there was actually a fair amount of distance that was covered from the beginning to the end, and a lot of that was running or dancing or doing other jump roping, doing other physical things. So there was definitely just a lot physically required of not only me, but everyone involved in the shoot.
One of the really fun things about 1 take videos is that if you have someone who's in the video at the beginning and then they also need to be somewhere in the video later on, a lot of times there's a lot of running going on that you don't see on camera. So once the camera's off a person, they're running to get to wherever their next spot needs to be. And for a lot of people, that means they're running to be in the crowd at the end of the video. So there's a point when the camera is on the wedding reception, and then it gets in the back of the truck with Sam and they drive off. And at that moment, everyone in the wedding reception, myself, dancers, the chess players, we're all running around the building to get into the crowd scene, and we're going through this entrance at the front. So there's a huge stampede of like 50 of us maybe dashing to the front, while the camera and Sam are on their merry way going throughout the rest of the shot.
I think the guy who takes the prize for the most exertion during the day is the Steadicam guy. So obviously I'm running that whole path, but the guy with the camera is running it right in front of me. So he's doing all the same stuff I'm doing, except unlike me, he's carrying a like 75-pound rig of equipment on him and carrying this huge camera. And, you know, all the while making it look super smooth and framing up and making sure it's all good.
A Steadicam, it's like a body suit kind of, and the camera sort of becomes like a third arm with you. And it's sort of this unwieldy thing that takes up a lot of space. So that guy has got to be running around too. And then also behind him, there's an assistant cameraman who's pulling focus on the camera. So it's this whole like kind of like train of people. Sam, the Steadicam operator, the cameraman, who are kind of running through this maze of people. One thing in particular that was really tricky was there's a moment in the video when Sam gets on the back of a truck and drives him a few hundred feet from this wedding reception to this back door that he has to get into. And the reason why it was so hard was because the camera has to go with him. So the Steadicam operator had to get on the back of the truck, and the truck had to move pretty fast. So you can kind of imagine this would be a problem with the Steadicam operator falling off the back of the truck. We had a ratchet strap in the back of the truck, and when the Steadicam operator got in the truck, he would have to grab onto the strap, and we had someone else get in the truck with him to hold him down, just to make sure no one fell out of that truck that day. When you're picking the take in a one-shot video, there's always a sort of element of compromise that has to go into it. There's going to be some things in one take that are better than other takes, but then there's some things in those other takes that are better. So for example, in the take we chose, there's a moment when Sam's going over to the chessboard where he knocks over a chess piece, and obviously it wasn't intentional, but it's a fairly minor thing. In the other takes, he didn't knock over a chess piece, but in the other takes, there's other little issues that we didn't like and weren't as good. So it's always an element of compromise, and in the end, we just had to decide which one we thought was overall the best take.
Who's painting the light?
Wait, this
That looks so good. Oh my
I
god.
think the coolest part about the video was every time I would finish that last little dance during the breakdown in that hallway and then run out onto the stage and see everyone there waiting for me, cheering, and just a roar erupted from the crowd. And even though it was, you know, I wasn't actually singing, it was just syncing to the same track I'd been the whole time, it really had the emotional effects for me of performing to this huge crowd, and all of them were jamming along to my song, and I got to see their smiling faces in that crowd, and that was just so overwhelming to me and huge.
We have never had that many extras in a video before, over 100 people, and they basically all came out in response to Facebook and Twitter posts by myself and Sam. And just having, when we do stuff online, we see views come in, but it's behind a computer screen, so it's not like there's people physically there in front of us a lot of times. And when we get to meet all you guys face to face and see you come to our shoots, it's awesome and means a lot.
Another great part of the day was finishing the video and then actually getting to sort of decompress and hang out and talk to all of the amazing fans who came out and gave their time to be in my video. I know that there was a lot of running around and also waiting around, and it was hot outside, and they had to listen to my song, you know, an unmixed, mastered version of my song, like over and over on repeat all day. So I know it wasn't easy, but getting to talk to so many people and take so many pictures and sign things afterward meant everything to me, and it was really made it all worth it at the end of the day. In addition to having this great product, it also meant that I got to hang out and interact with these people that support me and that love my music and what I do. So that was honestly probably the best part of the whole day.